Well, at July's monthly meeting of the Broken Hill City Council, councillors voted to submit plans to the state government's Resources for Regions funding program. One plan would see a major refurbishment of Argent Street. Mayor Winston Kai says plans to renew the Main Street precinct would be geared towards restoring the city's historic roots rather than aiming to be modern. In the latest development, the council has appointed urban designers Jack+Cottier to progress to the next stage of the Broken Hill Heritage City Living Museum and Perfect Light project. To find out more, I'm joined by Michael Heenan, who's the CEO and Principal of Jack+Cottier Architects. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Julie. It's very exciting to us for that announcement that was made by Council the other night.
Yes, so as you said, it's a recent announcement and good to hear that you're excited about it. What does your firm bring to the project?
We have a wealth of experience in this type of thing and a broader experience as well. And in fact, we're doing projects from inner Mongolia to outer Antarctica and most places between, as well as across regional New South Wales. And we bring a wealth of experience with the partners we've brought into this project as well, some of the most esteemed people in their fields and people who are great to work with in a consultation process.
You've talked about the different areas that you've worked in, and we understand you've worked in places such as Orange and Parks. We did hear you in the news, though, saying that this work will be vastly different compared to previous designs. How are you going to address the particular challenges that Broken Hill presents?
Look, I think Broken Hill has this alluring quality that's quite different to other places. It's a different light, it's a different history, it's been a harsh history right from the 1880s through the booms in the 1880s through to the 1890s, setting the industrial scene for New South Wales like your previous interview. It's quite a different place, but more importantly, it could become one of the most important cities in Australia because with the Heritage Council's nominated inclusion of this city into the National Heritage List, that's something unique and rare, and put that together with your really powerful and important heritage buildings, this is quite different. And Broken Hill with its particular light is very important and different, and so I think it's going to be really unique.
I guess then how do you, what skills have you got in being able to then bring out those particular qualities that you're referring to about Broken Hill?
Well, what I think is a really important skill in this is the ability to be almost a conduit for all the stakeholders in the city. So the council, everyone involved in it, the broader community, to generate this shared vision and then apply a really skilled urban design overlay to it and landscape overlay. And for that purpose, we've actually got a team wrapped around us, which is very significant. Like Jack+Cottier from our firm was awarded the highest award you can get in Australia for architecture, the gold medal. And we've got Helen Lockhead, who's a Lincoln Loeb Fellow in the Harvard University Graduate School of Design. And she also happens to be the Assistant Government Architect, working with Barbara Schaefer from her office as a landscape architect. And so we have the resources of the government architect coming in with us as well on this. So together our teams have done a lot of work like this and bring a really particular understanding not only to the ability to listen and to produce what the city wants by us talking with it, but then to get into special detail all the way down to the type of paving, the type of guttering, the type of lighting and the detail.
We heard yesterday from Mayor Winston Kai about the particular projects that have been talked about, for example, the veranda project, parking and this new light and sound project. Then, given that many of those projects have actually been around for a number of years, you're talking there about embracing the community's ideas and so forth. But is that going to be possible to do the two, seeing as that Council has got these plans that they're saying that they're ready to run with? How do you go about facilitating that?
Yes, well, I think Mayor Winston Kai and with the support of Theresa Manns have a process of delivery for these projects. But I think there's a catalyst in the Resources to Region funding which will set this off, and the fact that there's other things happening like the Civic Centre refurbishment and the veranda projects that's coming. That can all contribute to this, but the city sees this as the future. The sort of end of the mine life as being the predominant thing, and a vision for doubling tourism by 2020. And it means that for what is significant money, but really not significant when you think of its potential of increasing retail, hospitality, events and conferences, heritage restoration, renewable energies, arts, lighting and education, those sort of things can re-establish a town as an arts-focused town. And there's been a local passion for the arts in Broken Hill through the 70s and 80s. So you think of Pro Hart and Jack+C out there. It can bring the eyes of the world to Broken Hill so that people think, I must go and see this heritage-listed city that's a lively art place, that's wonderful shopping, wonderful food, but also, especially for me, the light quality. Like, when I leave the city, I think, I've been in the city too long because, the sky looks like this sea of carbon with these sparkling lights in it, and the intensity of the daytime lighting and the sunsets. I mean, it's a place that has all those qualities, and a simple intervention in the main street with the important government buildings can then establish this into the long-term future. So I think it's vital, and I think the resources to regions funding, the council funding, who we bring with us, the assistant government architect has influence as well for buildings. And so the future, because of a simple intervention that's been so well put together by the council, and you've got such a good response to this EOI, and you've picked what, I humbly say, a really powerful team to do this. I think it's heading in a good direction. Tell
us about the actual process then. We understand that you're under quite a tight time frame, as you said, because this is part of the Resources for Regions funding program.
Yes.
So we've got to have things up and running. Tell us how it will all work from here.
Yeah, so there's actually a 4-stage process, and we're involved in the first 2 stages at the moment. The tenderer was appointed exactly the time the council said they'd do it, and notified at exactly the time. We'll commence work on the 15th of September, and so they're right on target. And then stage 1 will be looking at the existing work that's been done and then creating a framework plan with the key concepts set out in it that's going to happen. And that'll involve a project inception meeting out there with the whole team, context reviews so we all understand the area. Then we'll be analysing opportunities and constraints and mapping the whole place. And then we're going to have quite an intensive workshop, and at the end of that workshop we'll come out with the bones of the scheme, and then the second stage will be going into further detail. And
at which point are you consulting, I should say, with the community?
I think very early on, in the second half of September and the first part of October will be community consultation.
And what sort of form would that take?
Look, I'm doing a lot, and if you look at the third page of the Herald today, one of my major projects is in that, which is similar to this, North Parramatta Government Lands. And the format takes a number of different ones, and we actually play some games and actually sit down and draw, and we draw out every single idea, nothing's excluded. But we actually sit around in a room and work it up in a really hands-on drawing and resolving sort of process. Everyone in the room has a say, everyone in the room can manipulate the drawing, and we actually build the ideas in public and have acceptance of those ideas in that public forum. It's quite a dynamic thing to do, and it's not for the timid in my position. You have to be quite confident that you can listen and draw publicly and do it, but it's actually a very rewarding process.
Is it going to make it challenging, though, working on this tight time frame, perhaps compared to other projects where you can have more time to consult with community or spend more time coming up with the ideas?
Yes, it is. But we're used to working at tight time frames, and it's actually an intensive period of thinking, and it doesn't mean you need a lot of time to come up with the right ideas, as long as you're thinking a lot, as long as you're listening a lot. And look, there's a wealth of ideas already. The council team's put a lot of work into this. There's the basic framework of what needs to happen. And the Perfect Light Main Street Heritage Experience has generally the bones about it. You know, we know it's focused on Argent Street. We know that Sulphide Street's very important, looking out to the line of load. Chloride Street's going to be really important. You know, that's obviously because it's surrounding the courthouse, the state office block, the post office and all those buildings. And then it goes broader out to cover the broader from Delamore down to Bromide and further, and from Crystal down to Beryl. So, look, there's a lot of thinking being done. We're hooking into that and taking it further. So, look, we're hoping the timetable doesn't. If it does, we'll say and possibly push it, but I doubt it. I think we can do it.
And has the company ever worked in Broken Hill before, Michael?
Our team has done some work out there, the Broken Hill Teacher Housing, but we've done work in the periphery. We've done a $25 million building in Mount Panorama. We actually did the new pit building at Mount Panorama Racetrack. We're working in Bathurst, Orange, Park, Stubbo, Moree Plains, Wollongong, Newcastle. So we're doing a lot, and we've done peripheral things in Broken Hill. But nearly all our team's been there, and Tom Sidford, who's going to be on our team, comes from Broken Hill, and he can't wait to get out there.
You spoke before about the heritage listing of the city and the possibility of that happening and what it could mean for Broken Hill. What does it mean for you and for your firm in terms of the perhaps extra challenges that it places on the work that you're doing?
Yeah, extra challenges, of course, but also a huge opportunity, because Mary Naggs, the Senior Heritage Architect from the Government Architect's Office, is part of our team as well, and she's a wonderful person and understands heritage, but we see it as a huge advantage rather than a disadvantage. You know, there's modern interventions you can make with heritage. There's restoration-type heritage. I don't see it as holding back. I see it as having this huge advantage, especially in Argent Street, and only opens possibilities.
I guess, though, there is extra responsibility.
Of course, and all of us understand that. We've been involved in, important heritage buildings all over the place, and understand that. And there are perfect guidelines for heritage, and ECOMOS sets out why it's important and how you should approach it, and that's a worldwide approach to heritage, and well understood by us. And so it also is a process that ends up respecting the buildings but enlivening the town.
You spoke before about the different partners that you'll be teaming up with. How many people will be involved in the project?
The main players in the project really go from Mayor Kai and Teresa down through the council, the stakeholders in the town and the broader community, and that's still to be discussed with the council, but I hope very broad. And from our side, we have available on the team, and as nominated, 10 people, and we'll probably have 4 of us out there.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to talking with you as the project comes together. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Julie. We're very excited and can't wait.
That's Michael Heenan, who's the CEO and Principal of Jack+Cottier Architects, and they've been awarded the remit to progress Broken Hill to the next stage, which is the Broken Hill Heritage City Living Museum and Perfect Light project.